I'm stoked I got Moicano because, you know, he's good at everything. So I took another hard fight because I feel like I know that I'm still a monster in this division, right? I just need to go out there and do it, which I'm going to do.
Welcome back. This is part 2. Enjoy the episode. Now, you guys have UFC 281 coming up. You're going to go back to City Kickboxing with the entire team. Everyone's on that card. I mean, you got Izzy, Dan, yourself, and I'm drawing a blank, but you're the guy Carlos in the light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Most of the time when Izzy's headlining these events, they bring in the gym and kind of stack the card with similar guys. Is there a reason why the UFC does that?
I guess they were doing it initially because of COVID, so it was just easier to like get everybody's like travel requirements, stuff like that, all the documents and all that bullshit at the time. It was easier just to do it all at once, go overseas, book all that like isolation crap on the way home. It was just easier to bunch it all together, and then I think Izzy probably likes fighting with his mates on the card, right? Likes having people around during the week. I mean, it's always nice to have some familiar faces during fight week, but yeah, like I was surprised to have 4 people like that on a card that big again. You know, like Abu Dhabi was different, right? Like it was just a weird time in the world. It was a weird place to fight, and
too much uncertainty.
People could fight, people couldn't fight because of rules, and like, so I was like, oh yeah, putting 4 on this card, that makes sense. But like Madison Square Garden, getting like 4 people on that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was watching when you guys are fighting on the same cards, and you fought on other cards with Izzy as well, and watching your vlogs. I mean, it seems like there's that brotherhood and that energy that builds up to the fight. Especially on your vlog side, you're 2 different characters on the vlog compared to media day. You're like, oh, you have that look like fuck this media type of look. Or is it more just you're exhausted and tired because you got to cut weight? Yeah,
media day is like just like it's always on like a Wednesday usually, right? And you're like starting to feel like a little bit depleted from the cut, and you're just pissing all the time because you're water loading. So it's hard to get like the energy for that, and it's the same questions, man, over and over, right? From like 5 different people or whatever. I understand that's like the job, but so like to get like the same enthusiasm for every time is like, it's hard. But like I want to vlog, right? I like vlogging. That shit's fun to me, so I get into it. And like it's you catch funny things, and you get like a different insight to it's like unique, right? It's unique to me and to like my friends. Whereas like media days, like, you know, I'm probably saying the same shit as like, I don't know, Khalil's saying, or like Sean saying, or something like that. But yeah, vlogging's it's cool, man. And now people aren't over here at Bangtao. They've never been here, so they get to see it. And some of them have like never met you know, Alex and those guys. I've never like really seen them because like we're separated for a long time. So them popping into like the vlogs, like, oh, who's this guy? You know?
Yeah, people don't realize that. I mean, I'm assuming this is kind of a second family to you as well, spending so much time at Tiger. You were originally at Tiger probably. Now, were you at the same time when George was there and Alex was there for the tryouts, about that era, or a little after?
So I came before that. I came way before that.
Yeah,
with Woody. That was the first guy I ever met in Thailand. And when I came back, I was in Thailand at a different gym. Tryouts were going on, but I was training just Muay Thai. I wasn't interested in MMA back then, so I was down at Lion Muay Thai at the time in Rawai. Okay, I was living there, fighting there. Those guys were like at Tiger doing tryouts and stuff like that, and I like didn't really know them. I just knew Woody, and I didn't know any of them, man. To be honest, didn't know any of them. Yeah, I like kind of knew Jeff, like who Jeff was, the camera guy.
Yeah, he just left, didn't he? Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really have too much to do with any of them.
Yeah, actually, I meant to reach out to Jeff. I kept seeing him at the gym. I'm like, oh, I'll get him on the podcast, and then he's gone. He told me he was over here because he was working out his visa to get back in New Zealand.
Something like that. So I think it just obviously came through when we were up in Bangkok the other week. So he shot off back to New Zealand to do whatever he does over there, film the guys and those engaged stuff and whatnot.
These guys over here, like Frank and Alex, I know one of your jiu-jitsu coaches was Josh Hinger as well. So these guys over here, they're kind of your Thailand family for this type of training? Like, is your training pretty like every day with Frank, focusing on the wrestling?
Like I train every day with all of them, really.
Yeah.
I obviously spend quite a lot of time with Frank because here I train with him like most days, and then in New Zealand he gets brought over and I train with him most days. And I spent a huge amount of time with Woody in the past, and so I like being here, man. Like I was training with these guys, straight out of New Zealand, right before I moved to CKB anything. So these guys are just as much of my team as the guys at home were, and I had like a huge amount of success with these guys.
Yep.
You know, these guys, like, these are the guys that taught me how to grapple before anyone else. You know, like Alex and George and Frank, or before Frank got here, it was George. These are all the guys, and like Roger Huerta, they showed me like how to wrestle and how to grapple and how to fight MMA. I had a few MMA fights with them over here in Imalo as well, a few MMA fights with these guys before I even thought about doing it in New Zealand.
Yeah, and these guys are, I mean, the Hickman brothers, they're world class. You've got, I mean, Frank is helping out with, he's always in Idasanya's corner.
Yeah, but
I mean, right now, George is over with the UFC with Loma.
Yeah.
I think Bangtao, and specifically this area, you're really going to see it put on the map, and maybe it's already being a competitor for Tiger. With Thailand in mind, you keep coming back here. What is it about Thailand that drives you back here?
I just think I enjoy this place, man. Like I have there's a lot of sentimental value to me. You know, this is where I like met my partner. This is where like most of my adolescence was spent over here, right? Like my early 20s, my middle of my 20s, and a lot of my nearly all of my fighting was done here, out of here, and so it's a good place for me. It's like a place that gives me some good energy, old energy. You know, and like I get new looks all the time. I think I just someone that suits like moving a little bit, moving around, training at place, not like random gyms, like tuning up at random gyms, but like obviously these guys aren't a random gym to me, right? And like so between this and CKB, I think bouncing between the two it's like a healthy way of living for me, you know. And you know, my daughter's like half Thai as well, so she seems to like really enjoy being here as well, like as much as we do. And so yeah, it's a good,
yeah, you can see her running around the HIIT gym. She's always got a
gym,
smile.
Man. She's at the gym like 3-4 times a day.
She's in there more than you.
Yeah, man, she's always at the gym. Yeah, she's always at the gym and hits it off with everybody there. Very friendly and very likable. So maybe it's like the Thai in her, I don't know. But
yeah, there's something special about Thailand, and I think also, you know, I mean, well, you're living on an island in New Zealand, but that island life, there's so much power from the ocean. You can feel it. And I mean, this place, it's right on the ocean. And every morning you wake up, there's no traffic, there's no stress. That kind of, it's all taken out of the equation. When you go back to city kickboxing, what is the lifestyle like there? Are you commuting to the gym? Are you close to the gym? Can it be, is that similar Thai lifestyle where everything is so convenient?
Not at all. Auckland, there's spots in New Zealand, right, that are like Phuket. Like if you go up north or like into places in the South Island, there's like beaches and you can live in that energy, right? And it's like simple, a nice way of living. It's really enjoyable, but that's not Auckland, man. Auckland is not that. Auckland is like a mini super city.
Yep.
Right? It's busy, it's expensive. It's very crowded, but the gym's very, very good. So that's what keeps all of us there, right? But sometimes you just got to get out of that hustle for a little bit. A lot of your time can be spent in traffic there if you don't time your day right. And yeah, it's like any other city in the world, like any other decent-sized city in the world. There's a lot of expenses, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can get caught up and feel like you're just constantly working all the time to for the next day. Oh, go to sleep, right? Got to go to sleep so I can get up and go to the next work day, right? Here you can like get some solid training in, but you can slow down, right?
But there's so much ways to save time here. Simple, like you don't need to do your laundry.
Yeah.
If you don't need to cook or clean, you can get them made. Like these little things, they start to add up, especially when you should be focusing on training, living in these cities. And it's the headache of the cost. I mean, I'm from Canada, and every time I go back home, it seems like everything's just doubling up in cost.
Yeah.
Like you can't even, for example, you're with your wife and daughter, and like, holy shit, in Canada, it's like, it'd be at least $100 to go. Like you're talking 3,000 baht. Here, you can go out with a family and spend what? Less than 1,000 for sure.
We fed like 6 people on the beach, like during the sunset the other night, for like, it was like 2,200 baht. You know, like 100 New Zealand dollars. Like 6 people, like stuffed full on a sunset on the beach. Like in New Zealand, that would be, well, anyway, that would be so expensive in the rest of the world, right? But here you just like scoot down the road. Like I fill up my scooter for like 100 baht for like the entire week.
Gas is not an expense here.
$180 at home for the week.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's people always. That's one thing back home. Insurance is a cost. A car is a cost. It's like I have a car, and honestly, it just sits there pretty much the whole week. I'll use it when it rains and I need groceries. That's pretty much it. But these things like insurance and gas. So living in Thailand, that whole stress it's non-existent. What about, has City Kickboxing ever thought of, especially because you had so many issues with COVID, just move the whole goddamn gym over to Phuket and bring the team?
I think they were considering moving to America during COVID.
I saw that.
Yeah. I was not going to do that. And America is definitely not a place I want to live. No. But that was like looking like a reality for a few of them. They were keen. They were like happy to do that. I was going to continue doing the 2-week quarantines because I felt that I would prefer to do the 2 weeks and stay in New Zealand versus moving my whole family over there. My partner didn't want to move back there. I don't want my kid to grow up in America. Like, yeah, man.
No, I've already said this to everyone back home. I'm not going back. I said, here's my pin. Come find me. I mean, that whole world's completely changed in the past 10 years. And it's more just, I mean, we don't get it like living in Thailand because there's no TV, there's no news, there's no Channel 6 at 6. So we don't really know what's going on back home. And then, you know, you always go back home. I don't know how it is in New Zealand, but for me, when I go back, you get the stories. Well, did you hear that? I mean, it could be a Trump issue or, you know, a political issue. And you're like, guys, I have no idea what the fuck's going on back here. Yeah. Like my worries are like, I want to go train. I got some work to do. And what am I going to eat tonight?
Yeah. I like it here. I feel like you can really zone in on like whatever like specific work you're doing, whether it's training or you finish training, you go do something else. Like I can be like at the moment, like it takes me like 2 minutes to walk back to where we're staying. Right.
Yep.
And then you can like rip into something for like a good 40, 45 an hour and then go chill out for half an hour, like go swim at the beach and then come back and do it again and like do that a few times. Then you train again and then like it's still only 6 o'clock.
Yeah. What's your routine? So I'm seeing yesterday I saw you're doing some jiu-jitsu in the morning. Yeah. Typically what's your day look like in Phuket? And I think this could be relevant for, there's a lot of people that are probably training MMA around the world and they don't realize like how this island can fine tune you.
Yeah. Like, I train a lot here because, number one, I feel like it's a waste to come all the way over here and not like get into it. And like, so I spend, like I said, I train with Frank and then I'll do like jiu-jitsu and then in the evening I'll do the wrestling classes and then I train with Woody as well and I hit pads. Like I definitely overcook myself, but the only reason I was doing that is because I wasn't in a fight camp yet, right? So if I completely fried myself, I could have like a morning off or a day off and it's not that detrimental, but I was just, for the last like 4 or 5 weeks, I've just been stacking up sessions ruthlessly. But now I'm in camp, I like sort of manage it a little bit better.
Are you officially in camp now?
Yeah, it's like 8 weeks. So now I'm just like a little more careful and cautious about what I was doing. But if I'm out of camp, I just get into it. Go for
and
it.
And then are you kind of during the time off, you're at the beach, you're grabbing a lot of people don't understand how simple it is. Like you're getting, and the food is quite good. The only problem I find in Thailand is when you're eating Thai food, like maybe the protein's a bit low. So you got to double it up.
It's definitely like not the ideal food to diet, right? To like make weight. So that's where it can start to get a little more costly is like when you start buying Western food over here. But if you have a kitchen and stuff, it's still really cheap. But yeah, during the day, a lot of YouTubing, a lot of editing and stuff like that, because I do it myself at the moment, and like a lot of time with my kid and stuff, because like I'm not lucky enough, but I'm put myself in a position that I can spend a lot of time with her. I don't have to send her to daycare or get nannies or anything like that, because of what I've done in the past, and like how I live now and the money I make. I can spend all the time I want with her, and so can my partner. So
yeah, and you're at the gym. You're kind of I'm watching. She's doing some training, and then you're watching your child. It's Mali.
Yeah, Mali. Yeah.
She's training, and then your partner's training.
Yeah.
She kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, it's good at the gym because like when they're young and they're cute, everybody wants to hold them. So I got like about 100 babysitters at the moment, but yeah, it definitely makes it a lot easier. But this is a good area for a family to be in, Bangtao. It's not too busy, it's not dangerous on the roads and stuff like that. So it's not quite as crazy as Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong is. I've talked to the boys. I don't know, 4 years ago. I did some training down there. I ran into Frank a long time ago to a volleyball place, and I know Joy's been on the podcast. And I always ask them, I'm like, why are you guys in Geelong?
Yeah.
Like, you come to Phuket to live on the island to be close to the beach.
Yeah.
I haven't left this area in 6 years. And
yeah, I didn't figure that out, bro. I was gutted. I came up here a few times to some like the beach clubs and stuff like that, but I didn't really like see this part of it. I wish I did, but yeah, I was absorbed in that lifestyle down there,
Well, it's especially, I don't know, maybe we won't give away too many secret spots in case people hear, but the typical the beach spots where I've seen you, that spot, there's nothing else I think on the island that actually has that, because it's not allowed, let's say.
Yeah.
But that is, I mean, maybe one of the best spots in the world, and not holding back on that. Okay, before we wrap it up, because we probably hit 35 minutes plus. Okay. Now you have UFC 281 coming up. In my opinion, not just as the host, but as a fan as well. And I've been following your career mostly because I followed all the guys that were at Tiger and down here, especially like Tai Tuivasa, Petr Young, very early in their careers. You're still, you're for sure a top 10 and probably one of the best strikers in that division. That division is stacked. You're going to be fighting Renato Moicano.
Yeah, Moicano.
Moicano. Is there anything you want to share of mentally? How are you preparing for that? And what are your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, like I had like a couple of losses, as everybody knows. The fight I had with Rafa was like a very good fight, and then I made a mistake, and I got caught. I paid for it. The fight with Jalen was not a good fight. It wasn't. Just a lot of things accumulated to that fight, and just went in there with the wrong mentality and the wrong headspace, and you can't do that against someone like that, right? He's so dangerous, and so I've just fixed things, right? And I don't feel like that is like an accurate portrayal of my skill level, or like who I am as a fighter, and so I took another hard fight because I feel like I know that I'm still a monster in this division, right? I just need to go out there and do it, which I'm going to do. And I'm stoked I got Moicano because, he's good at everything. And I get a good fight at a good stadium, and usually when things like this happen to me, and I don't have that, like, getting into the rankings is like a gift. It's good. But it's like a curse too, because it's so hard to get a fight. I got in there very early. I fought like a lot of hard people and ended up there early, which is like in my own credit, but also I kind of like shot myself in the foot, because the next minute I'm like 30 years old and I haven't had that many fights in the UFC over like a 3-year period. I could have had a lot more if I didn't rush my ass to the rankings so quickly. I should have just fought people. Not bad people. There's no one bad in the lightweight division, in my opinion. Like the top 15, there's like 15 dudes behind them like that as well.
Yep.
But I just could have had more regular fights. So like now that I'm out of the rankings, I have this opportunity where I can just fight people and just fight and back it up, and get back into like what I enjoyed about this, which was like having a dust up with somebody, Whereas like when you're in the rankings, you think about the ranking a little bit.
Fight, an absolute dust up.
Yeah, man. Like when I fought Drew, I had no idea Drew was ranked. I just was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a main fight, and then it was, and then I got ranked. I was like, oh shit, that was cool. That's a good bonus. And then,
but that whole division, I mean, it seems like in every division, the top 5 kind of holds up the divisions. And I had that conversation with Syed. I said, well, I heard, and being a fan, I also assumed at that point when you and Fazeev were fighting, it's because nobody was fighting you guys and no one would take a fight.
Yeah, it was very hard to get a fight.
And did you guys have to like get on the phone with each other at a certain point?
Yeah, I like WhatsApped them, and I sent them a voice message just saying that like, hey, like they've sent me your name. I don't know if you know about it or not. I don't know if they're just trying to get me to sign and then surprise you. I was like, but they've sent me your name. And they're telling me that there's no one to fight, and that both of us will have to wait till next year, otherwise.
Yeah. And
so we had like a call, and then we talked about it, and then he was just like, all right, well, let's make some money and fight. He's like, it's going to happen anyway, and I was like, yeah, it definitely is. So we just got it out of the way, and then so we had a fight, and then we switched like one ranking, and then same thing again, man. I was trying to get a fight in the rankings for the last one, but there was just no one to fight. No one puts their hands up, like, because I think I was like 14 at that time, 13 or 14. So like I'm at the sort of back. So the guys at the front, like I don't want to fight someone behind me, even though that's exactly what I did.
You gave Jalen that opportunity.
Well, I did that with Rafa. Rafa was ranked behind me, and I fought like, I think Rafa's the hardest guy in that division, man. Other than like Charles and Islam, I think it's like Charles, Islam, Rafa.
Yeah.
And then so no one will fight, so I was like, well, fuck, all right, I'm going to have to do the same shit again. So I just dipped out of the rankings and fought Jalen.
And the rankings, there was something that happened this week I'm not sure if you're aware of, and I saw Syed post it, then I looked it up, and it kind of destroyed the credibility of the rankings. This week, McGregor went up a notch.
Oh, did he? Fuck.
And he gained.
Yeah.
So Ferguson went out, like, because, well, Ferguson was fighting at welterweight anyways.
Yeah.
But so Ferguson dropped down to like 14, 15. Demir went up 3 spots. But if you look at the rankings, go pull it up, anyone on your phone, and it shows the green triangle plus.
Right,
so McGregor went up in the rankings.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
How the fuck?
The rankings are like, I don't know. I think
they're political. Yeah. It is what it is. So you're preparing for Renato. He recently fought RDS.
No, he fought. So I think he fought Hernandez maybe after that.
Because he took that RDS fight on last minute, didn't he?
He fought RDA and
sorry, RDA.
RDA obviously he's not like the ideal guy you want to fight last minute.
Yeah.
So you sort of give him a bit of a beating, but that's not like really an accurate portrayal of Renato's skill.
Is it going to be more of a stand-up? Or, I mean, these Brazilians, they always have the jiu-jitsu and the takedown as well.
So I think he's got like good jiu-jitsu, right? He was like trying to grab hold of Rafa to like take him down, but obviously he's very strong and hard to take down. And he was doing the same thing to Alexander Hernandez as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's got like, like good Brazilian style Muay Thai and like good jiu-jitsu. And he's like got a lot of experience. So
yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've said this to a lot of people I ask, especially about the lightweight division. I mean, well, look at a guy like Charles Oliveira. I mean, that division's just so tough that like, anyone you fight it's a beast. It's an animal, so it can turn it all around. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. I think you guys should absolutely check out Quake Combat. Continue vlogging, because I saw you took off maybe 8 months or 6 months almost.
Yeah, I just in New Zealand it's like a little bit harder to vlog.
Okay.
Right, like because there's shit I'm doing during the day, like training and teaching, and involves a lot of commuting. So I sort of like slips my mind, and I try not to vlog the same shit. Like training days or fight reactions and breakdowns, and I like to keep it like interesting. Something like if I'm like I'll watch this, and I'm like, okay, I'll make that vlog.
I think the behind the scenes stuff is interesting, and I'm like you've kind of done for all the lead ups to the pay-per-views. Will you do something like that for UFC 281?
Yeah, I've never been to New York, so I'll do a vlog for New York for sure. Like that'll be an interesting one. And I think my old man, he's gonna come over, so he's never really he's never traveled that far, I don't think. So
Well,
maybe I'll chuck him in the vlog.
New Zealand's the other side of literally the other side of the world.
It's a long ass journey to New York, man. So,
yeah, what do you guys fly Singapore or do you go New Zealand, LA?
No, I think we fly in New Zealand to we can go to LA. I think we can. There's a Houston flight.
Okay.
And then from there, obviously, whatever it is to get to New York.
What is it? 18 hours?
It's a long way. We got to go. I think we're going like a couple of weeks early, or so a week of training and then fight week.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I do the one to Canada. It's 24 hours door to door, and it's
TBA.
A handful of Valium.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Brad, for joining us. We're just gonna flip it to this camera. Let everyone know where they can find you, especially if they're not familiar with your YouTube channel, which I thought is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go on to Quake Combat, and it's like a unique channel. It's got like a lot of teaching. It's got a lot of instructionals for fighting, breakdowns on fights, and like random vlogs that I do about my life when I feel like it. So yeah, it's like I got a little bit of everything. It's pretty cool.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, guys, we are out. That's another episode. It probably went a bit longer than I thought. It goes fast.
That's sweet as,
especially when I'm drinking coffee. I start chatting. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that fun stuff. We're out.